Welcome back to the Roll-Up High Roller community. As always, nothing on the roll-up is to be construed as financial advice. We are just some educators in the DeFi space. Toss us a quick like, give us a share, a repost, send it to a friend who may want to watch this, and finally, give us a sub or a follow. It means the world to help support credibly neutral educational content in DeFi. We're here to educate, empower, and enrich you, and let's jump in.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? Welcome to another video. Tushar this side, and today's video is going to be interesting because today we are going to talk about the DeFi flywheel. Today we are going to talk about EntangleFi. We are going to talk about very interesting things that they are doing, and specifically their tech stack. We are going to talk about the Photon messaging layer. We are going to talk about data feeds, their recent blog post around universal data which they are bringing, and also LSDs and liquid vaults. We are also going to talk about the NFT collection which they launched called Webverse NFT, what's the use of it, and if you have to get one, how you can get one, and many more interesting things. So, without wasting any time, let's get into it. Now, the first thing that's a couple of months back in November, if I'm not wrong, Andy did this very interesting tweet regarding DeFi flywheel. Now, if you don't know what is DeFi flywheel, think of it like a domino effect. One small change will run this whole cycle. For a very interesting example, here's the diagram. One initial change that will happen, it will trigger effect A, that will trigger property 1, that will trigger effect B, that will trigger property 2, and this cycle will go on and on and on. A very basic explanation: when the price of the ARP token increases, yield farmers earn more, protocols get more TVL, and yield farmers are more inclined to hold ARP. And as everyone is holding ARP, the price increases again. Yield increases because of that, and this repeats aggressively until the music stops. And this is what we call a DeFi cycle. Now, it can be positive and it can be negative. It have already been negative in 22 and 23, so now it's the time for it to be positive. So yes, there are good news and there are bad news. But one interesting thing that Andy mentioned in this blog post was Entangle Finance. It's an Omnichain liquidity layer, and they are doing many interesting things to optimize liquidity within the DeFi ecosystem and keeping the flywheel spinning in a positive way for a longer duration of time. Again, he have also mentioned here that EntangleFi aims to unlock the composability of yield assets and opening up new refinancing markets while bringing liquidity amongst chains together under one roof. And he then talked about many interesting things that I will talk about in detail later. But yes, this was my introduction to this cool project called EntangleFi, who are basically customizable and interoperable data infra that is built for Web3 and institutions. Already 35 plus dApps are integrated, 10 plus blockchain connected, and 1.35 million plus testnet transaction done. And again, as I said, one thing that I personally love about them is the tech stack, the infra, what they are bringing. And let's talk about that. First thing is Photon messaging layer, a cross-chain messaging that's crucial for cross-chain bridging, multi-chain product. If you are trying to be chain agnostic, then something like this is required. A good example of already existing product would be LayerZero. If you know, LayerZero is more like a cross-chain bridge, a layer that you can use to build a cross-chain dApp. Just like that, Photon messaging layer is one of those layers that Entangle Finance as an infra have built so that you can create interoperable real-world assets, omni-chain stablecoin, trustless bridging. You can accept collateral on any chain for sales and auction, such as IDOs, build cross-chain trading and yield aggregator strategies, and many more things like cross-chain dApps such as lending and borrowing. And you can see the architecture of Photon messaging layer here, and this image clearly shows how it works, where the user initiates the transaction in the dApp sends the transaction data to the circuit, Then that circuit runs this proposal event and send it to the set of transmitters. These transmitters send the operation proposal to the controller. Controller check the proposal, and if it's good to go, then it sends the valid event to the conductor. And then conductor sends the operation data to the circuit, and circuit executes the operation. And this whole section is what happens in Entangle's messaging layer, which is the Photon messaging layer. Now again, if you understood it, well and good. If you did not understood it, you can always go through Entangle's docs. But one thing, if I have to keep it as simple as possible, transaction gets done, Entangle verifies the transaction and sees if it's valid or not. And if it's valid, it's sent to another blockchain to execute the operation. Simple as that. And one most important, how should I say, pillars of this whole system of Photon messaging layer are the transmitters and the conductors and the controllers. Transmitters and conductors, these two are basically the agents who are going to do the more communication, I'd say, between the smart contracts and other layer L1 chains. That's Photon messaging layer, cross-chain, secure cross-chain messaging protocol that can be used to build all these cool things. And if you talk about the availability of the Photon messaging layer, it's already available at Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, Mental, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Phantom, Multiverse X, which is a non-EVM, and Say Network, which is also a non-EVM. And many more chains are on its way that are going to be there. So that's good. And the second thing, which I liked about Entangle, is the data feeds. Now, if you don't know what is data feeds, see them. Let me just show you this. Think of them as oracles. There are external data sources that sends the data to the transmitter, a set of transmitters, to be honest. The transmitters then send this data to, they sign the data first of all, and then they send this data to the controller, which is there in the Entangle blockchain. Entangle blockchain, a controller will check the proposal, and then it will send ahead to the conductor. And then the conductor will send the data to the circuit, basically the external blockchain. Think of them as oracles, and to talk more about it, I would let me show you this latest blog post that they have recently shared on 10 Jan called Universal Data. What is universal data and how are they different? Everything is here. To start with, one thing that they mention is that they are launching universal data feeds as a new primitive to provide a novel approach on how developers and dApps and smart contracts can interact with data. But what's the problem with already existing oracles? Well, the couple of main problems is the data availability. Second is, of course, we can customize these oracle as much as we want. And a lot of time we get a lot of useless data, or basically data that we can't use specifically. We wanted something specific. Basically, customization is not there. Cross-chain limitation is there when we talk about data on the traditional oracles. They struggle to provide efficient data across various networks. And then data authentication. How do we know if this data is right or not? If someone have tampered with it or not? Who is verifying it, etc. Here comes universal data. Universal data feeds offers a transformative approach to data collection by providing solution of all these problems. It's unified collection and processing. So decentralized applications are now empowered to bring any data from any source across Web 2 or Web 3. And developers can now write a module for processing and finalizing the data and select the scheme for dissemination. Interoperable, so smart contract can use universal data across any chain or any source, which I personally see as a very big strong point. So you can basically seamlessly deliver data across both EVM and non-EVM networks. Customizability, now you don't have to change your product as per the oracle. You can change your oracle as per your product. Basically, you can customize it for the data that you want, the workflow that you want, such as calculation and execution logic to suit the unique use case of your dApp, which is a very interesting thing. Push and pull is also something that I like. So what Entangle is providing developers with the choice of push or pull models for the data delivery. Now, if you don't know what is push or pull, what does it mean specifically? Let me quickly tell you. When we talk about push and pull, think of it like this. I'm not sure if you're a developer or not, and I'm not sure if everyone is developer, so let me try to simplify it as much as possible. Okay. In push, all the data is directly sent. Think of it like that, I would say. So, for example, when you talk about push is basically data will come on regular basis. And when you talk about pull is when data will only come when a request is sent. So, for example, in push, even if I don't want data, Oracle will be sending data to me actively on hourly basis, quarterly basis, etc., etc. But in pull option, Oracle will only send me data when I will request for it. That's like a quick differentiation of push and pull. Again, these oracles will be actively using NGL, which is the native token of the Entangle blockchain, also as fees for all the data feeds, and all these fees will be distributed between validators, transmitter agents, and their delegates, which is really good. And again, data security is there because it's going to be decentralized. These are, again, if you want to talk about more in detail, how does universal data feeds work, I showed you this diagram already, but here is another view on it. On-chain, off-chain data sources will send the data, transmitters will sign the data, they will send it to Entangle blockchain. There a controller will check the proposal, then it will validate it and it will send to the conductor, and conductor will send it to the DApp. Pretty simple. Use cases are many, one of them being the liquid vaults that I will talk about later quickly. Then cross-chain dynamic gaming assets. That actually is an interesting use case which I am personally looking forward to. Real-world asset tokenization, my personal favorite. And yes, if you talk about Entangle's 2024 roadmap, they are going to launch their mainnet in February 2024. And they are set to support over 13 blockchain networks for cross-chain communication, and they are going to integrate 50 plus dApps. And yeah, universal data feeds is going to be a strong point which they are going to follow for most of the things. So yes, that is the, again, as I mentioned, I will talk about liquid vaults because this is something that I personally liked, and I want to talk about this with you guys. Now, if you don't know, liquid staking derivatives, it's like a very big thing right now. It has been such a big thing that it have emerged as a new sector in the cryptocurrency called LSDFi, enhancing the overall utility of the staking mechanism. Now, if you don't know what LSDs are or what liquid staking derivatives are, a quick explanation would be every time you provide liquidity to a pool, you get these, liquid tokens. And liquid stake derivatives are nothing but ways to overall increase the efficiency or use case of these synthetic tokens that you get, or basically the liquid tokens that you get, the LP tokens. That's what LSD or liquid staking derivatives are. Projects who are increasing the overall use case and capital efficiency of these synthetic tokens as mentioned here. Now, a very big problem with LP tokens or liquid provider tokens. So the moment you provide liquidity to any pool on a DEX, you get this specific token that we are calling LP tokens. Now there are projects that are creating utilities for the LP tokens by where you can stake your liquidity LP token and you can get rewards and all, which is great. The only problem is after you stake the LP token, the user journey ends. Basically, there's nothing more that you can do, and the liquidity is also not there because the LP token is also staked. Of course, you are getting all the rewards, but still, it's just staked. And what to do with this? Well, liquid vaults is the solution, and as per this article, they are mentioning that liquid vaults will unlock $14+ billion of assets through liquid vaults. Now, instead of going through all these things, if I have to explain you in a very simplified way what liquid vaults do is, liquid vaults will ask you, how should I want to simplify it as much as possible, and I'm going to do this. So yeah, think of liquid vaults like this. Entangle has created this liquid vault to solve this problem. Liquid vaults will turn these LP tokens into LSDs, which are liquid staking derivatives, and then you can use these LSDs as a collateral to take a loan in any asset as you want. Yes, that's like the best way I believe to explain this. So what they are doing is, again, as I said, without going in too much detail, if I have to explain very simply, if I have, let's say, 10 LP tokens, I will provide these LP tokens to these liquid vaults. They will give me LSDs, and then I will use these LSDs, which is liquid staking derivatives, as a collateral to get a loan of any crypto token, asset token I want, including stablecoin, which then I can use wherever I want. Plus, I will be actively getting all the yield on my LP tokens and on everything else that is there. And that's a good thing. So I'm getting the reward, plus it's also unlocking the liquidity through providing LSDs, which I can use as a collateral. And then the whatever token I get after using LSD as a collateral, I will use that token to use more DeFi dApps. So, like that's like the whole cycle, which is pretty cool. And, in a very simplified way, that is liquid vaults. And it sounds very simple, but it is a very big solution. And let's see how it goes and what more things it unlocks. Yes, I talked about liquid vaults. I talked about Photon messaging layer. I talked about data feeds, universal data feeds. What is left? One thing is left, and that's Webverse NFTs. Now, if you don't know, Entangle Finance launched Webverse NFTs as a project to educate their community about Entangle Finance, because Entangle Finance have so many different products, variations, like liquid vaults is there, universal data feeds is there, Photon messaging layer is there, and see, these things are not as simple that anyone can understand. And to make the whole learning as simplified as possible, they launched this NFT collection called Webverse. And these NFTs, the main purpose at least of these NFTs is to educate you about Entangle Finance and the products which are there in the simplest and the most gamified way as possible. That's like the main goal of Webverse, to make the benefits of DeFi easier to understand and access through engaging narratives and NFTs, of course. And if we talk about the utilities, there are two kind of NFTs, by the way. If you don't know, there are weavers worth 0.15 ETH, and then there are agents worth 0.5 ETH. So this is the expensive one, and this is not the expensive one. Now, if you supply is also as divided, weavers are 4,700 in supply and agents are 300 in supply. If you talk about benefits, well, with you holding Weaver NFT, you can get access to the liquid vaults, Photon messaging layer, and data feeds. And agents, which is the expensive version and less in supply, you will get exclusive access to, of course, everything that Weaver have. In addition to that, additional access to Entangle's public round, which is very interesting. And of course, in addition to these extra benefits, agents will be at a higher mint price than Weavers. So basically, if you want to sell the Weaver NFT, if you want to sell the agent NFT, you will get more money, simple as that. Again, utility of NGL is also something that they are allowing. So if you don't know what is NGL, NGL is the native token that plays a crucial role in powering the whole Entangle's ecosystem. Some use cases are staking as a delegator or infra provider for keepers, taking as a validator or delegator for the Entangle blockchain, and utilizing Entangle as a connected application. Gas fees on Entangle, that also you can only pay using NGL. Again, as of now, it's in testnet, but it's going to launch its mainnet in February, as we read in the blog post. And once again, the whole purpose of Webverse NFT is nothing but to communicate and to educate you about Entangle's roadmap, Entangle's future plan. Because they have also mentioned here, I'm not sure where, but they have mentioned that future projects are going to include a cross-chain V3 DEX, is going to include a cross-chain launchpad, a leverage yield farming protocol, and a liquidity lottery system. And NFT holders in the Webverse will and are always going to get exclusive access, benefits, and information to all these things. So, if you hold this NFT, well and good. If you don't, well, whoever holds are going to get the benefit. So that's there. And I am personally, looking forward to be honest, what I am personally looking forward to is Photon messaging layer competing with LayerZero and data feeds competing with Chainlink oracles. I mean, that's going to be super interesting, and let's see how it goes. But the thought of using Webverse NFT collection to educate people about Entangle Finance's all these products, very interesting thought. And I'm looking forward to, how will it work out? And, will people be educated? How will they get educated? Many more interesting things. So I'm looking forward to it. And yes, guys, that was EntangleFi. We talked about Photon messaging layer. We talked about data feeds, universal data feeds. We talked about liquid walls, tech stacks, Webverse NFTs. Have I missed anything? I'm just thinking. I don't think so. But yes, I guess one thing that I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, that you can be a keeper. So in EntangleFi, there are two ways to dive deeper. Either you can be a validator or a keeper. Who is a keeper? Keeper is basically just safely bring data from any off-chain or on-chain source onto the Entangle blockchain. That's it. And distribute this information from Entangle blockchain to endpoints, which then look for consensus among keepers before executing on-chain actions. So, that's like keeper or validator, you have to validate the data. But yes, other than that, I don't think so. I have forgot anything. The revenue model of Entangle is here. Liquid vault performance fees, oracle revenues, and liquidity optimization performance fees. They are all going to come. Staking rewards is there, oracle infra reward is there, Entangle ecosystem is there. So yes, all these are basically the revenue models through which Entangle generates revenue. Yes, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you guys liked it, got to know something new. If you have any questions, any doubts, do drop them in the comment section. I and the whole team will be happy to answer any question. And if you like the video, then like, comment, share, retweet. Let us know that you liked the video, and don't forget to follow Tushar Lok and the Rollup Co. With that, see you guys next time. Till then, bye bye. Ta-da, ta-da, bye 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 bye.